your pool tight and tense, this is the tournament for you.
He's missed it by a mile. We are seeing all kinds of mistakes when the pressure is on.
The quarterfinals beckon. There's the 9 going in. Finger.
This is turning into a classic.
You cannot write that script. What a comeback!
We started with 32 teams and we're down to the last 8 as we reach the quarterfinals of the World Cup of Pool 2019. In today's show, we have the reigning champions China facing a tricky match against the Netherlands. Commentary comes from Phil Yates and Jeremy Jones.
Well, that's a nice starter there. Made the 1 on the break. He's got a decent shot at the 2. The 3's a little difficult. Probably looking at something like getting the cue ball back where it's at now for a little bit of a cut on the 3.
As usual, Carl Boyes was quite right when he said that these race to 9s offer the chance of being a little more free in the arm. But doesn't take away from the fact that both of these sides want to get off to a good start. Now that's typical Wu. Great double and a good kiss on the 4 as well.
Yeah, and he took a little chance there trying to move the cue ball down table. He didn't want to get thin on the 3 just because of where the 4 was. So worth a little bit of risk on the cue ball and a great shot to open our match. You'll see that that was all about the 6 ball there, trying to gain position on the 4 to make it to where he could crawl the cue ball to the backside of the 6. And as Carl said, that you might look at it and mathematically you look at a race to 9, it's only 2 more games than a race to 7, but just that extra 2, just that a little bit more mental ease, you might say. And this is a little funny. Got a little near the cushion. He's going to have to pound this ball a bit, Phil.
Maybe that's a reaction to what happened yesterday when Wu, every time he made a positional misjudgment, overcooked it. Actually, it wasn't yesterday, was it? It was Thursday evening when they played in the second round, but the same principle applied.
Yeah, they had an open table a few times and Wu overran the ball, and they kind of kept Liu kind of handcuffed. He just had to play some safeties to open the match. And then when he got a couple open shots, he had a few mistakes, but then they cleaned it up. And now a nice 8 and 9 to open it with a break and run.
Well, not the most convincing pot, that just about struggled in. But in totality, a pretty convincing start from the title holders.
You got to believe these players going to get more settled with the race to 9, playing just another match with their partner. So you got to expect just going to be better play as the days go on and the matches go on. And a nice starter here for the Netherlands. They just got a pretty simple shot on the 1. They probably just draw the cue ball into the 6. I think he can hold there for a thin cut on the 2 in the side, and realistically, without some type of fumble or hiccup, should be another run out.
We mentioned the fact that it's so important to have a very able junior partner in this tournament. Yesterday we were talking about the likes of Bisa Spahi, who have played so well for Albania. Obviously Petri Mäkinen from Finland He's another cracking number 2. And although Marc Bijsterbosch is definitely the junior partner here, he does have a pretty good CV. He won the 10-ball event at the European Championship in 2017 at the Salgado Palace Hotel in Albufeira, Portugal, beating in the quarterfinals actually Niels Feijen. Overcame the Swede Christian Sparenlöf Fischer to capture the title.
Well, the Netherlands have quite a few accomplished players, so no accident that Marc here playing with Niels, and probably very comfortable with Niels. Guys from Holland, they spend a lot of time together. Oh, he's got to watch out here. And I'm really not sure why he didn't kind of float that in. Pretty fortunate if he drew a nice angle to get on the 7.
Yes, he acknowledged his fortune, didn't he, by holding the hand in the air, apologising.
And Niels, quite like many other players, but there's still a few that there's a little exception to, but he's won so many events, and it's just because he usually grows stronger through the events. Really minimizes mistakes, and obviously someone that doesn't dog it. The pressure, of course, can get to anybody, but a guy that it doesn't affect too often.
Cue ball close to the side rail, not dissimilar to the 9-ball that China B missed to get to the final last year. But Marc Bijsterbosch makes no mistake, and just like that, very efficiently, Holland are back on level terms, 1-1.
Welcome back to the first World Cup of Pool quarter-final, where the scores between China and the Netherlands are level after sharing the opening 2 racks. Rack 3 was a war of attrition lasting over 9 minutes before a double to the centre pocket helped the Chinese pair regain the lead by 2 racks to 1. The Dutch duo continued their 100% record from break, clearing up for a second time to restore parity at 2-2. The 5th was another lengthy game, a couple of wayward Dutch shots leading to the reigning champions hitting the front for a 3rd time in the match. We rejoin the action at the start of Rack 6 with the Netherlands to break. Commentary from Jeremy Jones and first Phil Yates.
Well, not bad at all. 1 in, 4 in, shot on the 2.
And we're not seeing the clusters as a whole today so far as we've seen in the first 3 days. Seems like the guys are hitting the balls with a little better timing, and you expect that, though. You don't expect them to keep struggling on the break. So a big shot here for Netherlands. Got to kind of slow roll it. Oh, it hit perfectly. A bit closer to the orange there. The Netherlands wanted, and pretty fortunate when you get an inch away that you end up with still the shot. So he's got to coast the cue ball by the 8, not too hard. Don't get behind the 7.
Given their national colours and their uniforms, the orange really is inappropriate when it causes a problem. It should be an ally.
And did they fall a bit funny on this 6? Sometimes you just get that squirrely little bit of an angle to where you're falling towards the low rail, but it's tight going forward. You might catch a little bit of the pocket. So probably just smooth this out a couple rails. Yeah, just kind of creep it into position.
Just enough right-hand side to widen the angle and leave Niels Feijen what is basically an unmissable 9-ball. 3 breaks in this match for the Netherlands, 3 runouts in rack 2, 4 and more recently there in rack 6. The respective efficiency of the two teams' breaks, Jeremy, is in stark contrast.
And Wu carrying the one past the side, so a little bit of an overhit, in my opinion, on the break there. But it's hard to back off. It's just something instinctively that you've done your entire pool career for the most part, is learned how to break the balls firm. So a big shot here for the Netherlands. I think they're supposed to go offensive, trying to cut this one in, bringing the cue ball down on this half of the table for the 2 on the side. The only problem is he's elevated over the 5. He may end up just banking the 1 back around and trying to play the cue ball behind the 2 and 7 and all that. Wouldn't be a bad shot. Okay, nice shot. Oh my goodness. Watch out for the cue ball. And all kinds of bad stuff happened there besides making a great shot on the 1. He may be able to see the 2, but look where he bumped the 3-2 to the back rail. So Marc's going to have to elevate and put some steam on this if he wants to screw the cue ball back for the 3.
Yes, a full ball kiss on the 3 there would have been manna from heaven. As it is, this is hellish in so many ways, as Jeremy has described.
It's real close if he can get by the 9 to get at the 2, and what he's doing here, it makes me think he can, so he's going to try and get some draw here. Big shot.
Well, muted applause, but I think from where he was, with the awkwardness of the queuing, well done, Marc. Bijsterbosch.
And Bijsterbosch missed an opening 2 ball in our 3rd game, but after that he's settled in. He's made some nice shots, very similar to the first 2 rounds. So you can see the 5, 6, 7, 8 all on this right side rail. So there's going to be a lot of cue ball movement involved if they were to go on and get out here. So I don't believe the 7 passes the 8. You can see the 6 there, so they're going to want to gain a bunch of angle on this 6 ball. And it's a little bit of a funny shot on the 5, meaning coming 2 rails back isn't so easy, zigzagging the cue ball. So you may see high right English. Okay, he's cueing down, so he's going to come backwards with the cue ball 2 rails, trying to get kind of where his hand's at now, somewhere around there. Oh, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And now again, 2 rails back and forth. The one thing Marc has to realize is he doesn't have to get all the way over to straight in on the 7. That would be ideal. But Niels can handle a little bit of a cut shot with the 8 so handy. Oh, he just took full advantage, and I'll tell you, Marc's settling in.
looks like being the first rack won in this match against the break.
Not bad. Wasn't the best of strokes. Actually close to a little bit of a deceleration there, but nevertheless, he got enough on the ball for a fairly routine 9-ball for the Terminator.
In it goes. So China broke dry. The Dutch potted a really nifty 1-ball. The 2 was perhaps even better to the middle pocket. And from there, they ran out. And so, for the first time, Holland lead the defending champions China at 4-3. Golden, just golden. The third golden break of the tournament. The man responsible, Niels Feijen. He suspected it might go in. He was urging it on towards the pocket. And in the 9-ball went, and just like that in a trice, the Dutch double their advantage. And it's the cue ball that nudges the 9. What a golden feeling, Jeremy Jones.
Yeah, these guys, they opened with 3 breaking runs, and now the ultimate break, a golden break on the 9 to capture a 2-game lead.
Welcome back to the Morningside Arena in Leicester, where the Netherlands have clear daylight against the reigning champions China, needing just 4 racks to make it through to the semi-finals. Rack 9 was another long battle in this quarter-final matchup between the Dutch and the reigning champions, but a poor Bijsterbosch safety shot on the 3-ball led to the Chinese taking advantage and reducing the arrears to 1 rack. So nothing much separating the two sides as we start Rack 10. Commentary from Phil Yates and Jeremy Jones.
Okay, so we'll see if there's any type of offensive play. He's got a long combination on the 2-5 that's very makeable, but it's just a matter if he can hold position on the 2 and if he wants to take that chance. I believe what Niels is looking at is probably chipping the 2-ball over behind the 3-6 and letting the cue ball just run down behind the 8. Pretty solid shot. Doesn't feel like he's going to keep China off the kick. Like, you don't plan on getting ball in hand off of this type of shot, but nothing wrong with getting the simple safe, the simple snooker. And it really keeps the pressure off your mind. You know, you don't feel so like I got to do so much to beat this team. Just take your chances with the snooker. They have to kick out of it. And some days you have it where they kick out of everything, but you still just have to play the simple percentages. Well, that's a nice hit, but really everything he didn't want to happen. Not only giving up a shot on the 2, but opening up that 3-6 that was clustered. So now the Netherlands in a prime position again to get that 2-game lead back. They've got plenty of work here, but some nice starters.
Yes, rack 10. It's not provided a golden break, but it's provided a golden opportunity.
And you can't look past this first 4 balls, but it's really all about the 7. The 7 passes the 9 or the 8 in the lower corners, the rack becomes pretty easy for this caliber. The 7's got to be played in one of the upper corners or the sides now. It becomes very difficult. Okay, and by the way, Niels is shaping up that 6 ball and where he wants to play position. That tells me that the 7 does pass the 9. So it's all about just staying in line. He could come back down for the 6 in the side, and this is I'm a big advocate of playing for the corners for the most part, but that's one position to where the 6 in the side is not it doesn't hurt you in any kind of way, meaning you can handle almost any angle. Okay, he just went ahead and stayed for the corner, and I'll tell you, he did really well. Perfect little natural angle for Marc to draw over for the 7 by the 9. That's the second time draw stroke on the 8, from the 8 to the 9. A couple games ago, Marc was a little light, and really light here. So Niels is going to have to make a decision if he wants to draw the cue ball and put some extra spin to get on the 8, or if he's going to go into the 8. It looks like to me he's going to try to go around it. And this is one field, though, even though he's very straight on the 8 in the side, a lot of players sometimes will elect to play this in the corner rather than go off that little small angle. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Those side pockets are not very forgiving.
No latitude for inaccuracy when you go to the side. Caught too much of that far jaw, and that could really be a pivotal moment in this match. A sickening mistake.
Yeah, and that just shows you how tough this Rasan table is. It wasn't like it was, oh, watch out for the side. Oh, my. Oh, my. So Lou has really had some cue ball struggles today, and none more than that one.
Fluctuating emotions, or what?
Been here a dry break, and this is what we talked about. You can't afford it in the early stages, and as the teams settle in and the other teams are performing better on the break, these are just these can cost you matches. And Wu kind of smiling it off over there. Yeah. Just kind of probably asking himself, what do I have to do to make a ball on the break? Oh my golly. Not a shot you expect missed, and it wasn't a cold-blooded hanger, but it's just Niels when he gets an open opportunity and one to kind of step on the throat of China, usually doesn't make that mistake.
The only explanation, we were bigging him up. The commentator's curse again. Totally unexpected.
Extension
and even though the Netherlands are 6-4 ahead. They've missed 3 pots to China's 1.
And China still, though, not an easy situation, even though a pretty open 1 ball. They're going to have to play safe. I think he's going to bank the 1 kind of in between the 9 and 2 and run the cue ball 1 rail behind the 6-8. That looks like a pretty simple one. Oh, the speed is not good. Not good. And you could see there wasn't much flow to that stroke. It was more of a really heavy, hard hit. So really not doing as much with the 1 or the cue ball.
Without wishing to sugarcoat this, and he's got time to redeem himself, but so far Lou has been poor.
Stop the clock a minute, please. Okay, start the clock.
Yeah, we had to.
Extension ball.
So Marc's going to regroup here, and I think that's a good idea. He's taking his extension.
The beeps you heard, the frenetic sound, that would normally signify a time foul, but there hasn't been one committed because the extension was taken well in time.
Wow, great stroke there. Elevated, but still kind of went at it with a medium speed, and that's not an easy one to pull off.
Our electronic timing might have been off there before the shot, but Bijsterbosch's timing most certainly wasn't.
Yeah, and the way the Netherlands have broke the balls in this match, this out here just very crucial to maybe get on the heel at 8-4. We'll not get ahead of ourselves, but we can see what have they, out of 6 wins, they've broken ran 3, and they've had a golden break also. So very efficient when it's been their opportunity at the table breaking the balls. The main thing for Niels here is obviously to gain an angle on the 5, so it's easy for him to get to the 6, but stay off the rail with the cue ball. All these great players can handle a lot of different angles, little bitty changes on the angles as long as they're off the rail, and that's pretty good there. Watch out for the corner. Watch out for the corner. Okay, so I believe the 8 ball is a little bit of Niels' friend here. He'll probably try and punch into about half of the 8 ball and let the cue ball kind of go towards the 7, making it actually a little easier to gain position on the 8 as well. Should knock it over to the left side rail just a bit. Main thing is, you know you're going into the 8. Don't take your eye off the 6.
Are we going to see a 3-rack gap for the first time? Well, after the disappearance of the 7 ball, I'd be astounded now if we didn't see that 3-rack cushion in favour of the Dutch.
Yeah, and China really flirted with defeat facing Chile in round 2, but got a bit of a gift from the South Americans to stay in this tournament. But you got to expect that's not going to happen here. They're going to have to start taking it a little bit away from the Netherlands.
Super stuff. Excellent. Holland looking increasingly good.
Welcome back. Could we have a shock in the first quarter-final between China and the Netherlands? We rejoin the action in rack 12 with the Dutch duo at the table leading 7-4.
Extension call.
Commentary from Phil Yates and Jeremy Jones.
And Niels needs to not worry about getting close to the 3. Just come to this side rail and leave a little angle. Ball jumped a little bit, and now he's going to overrun. And that's trying to get his partner tidy on the 3, which is a little bit of a mental error.
It was quite a big bounce off the cushion, though, you're right. You saw it there. Sprang off the cushion. You call it boing, we call it ping.
Yeah, and it seems the table's getting a little more broken, and I think the players, these guys will adjust to it during the match, of course, but the players that are watching, they should pay attention that there's going to be even more speed on the table. If those tables start to kick, the rails start to kick a little bit, something they got to be aware of. I believe this is going to be tempting to jump, especially down 7-4. It's a pretty easy kick and contain shot, meaning you kick to the bottom rail, come across the 5 and run the cue ball up table. Shouldn't be too tough.
Extension called.
Yes, this is just the type of shot you come to the rail, come across the top side of the 5, running the cue ball down table, and the 5 ends up on the end rail, kind of underneath the 8 and 9. Okay, very good. A very important shot for Team China.
We didn't really need to see that shot, Jeremy. You told us all about it.
Now here, you can try and kick softly and lay on top of the 5, but I like him trying to take a chance at making it, just with a little running English. And that way, if you don't make it, you can get some separation as well. Oh, he's hitting it soft and trying to bank it up. Okay. I think he did all right. I don't think the 5 passes the 7 in the side. Didn't give up the 5 in the corner. So pretty nice play by Bijsterbosch. I don't think that's going to get it, Phil. And I'm really surprised he just didn't lay the cue ball up on the end rail and use the 6-7 as a snooker on the 5. Really surprised he tried to run the cue ball all the way back behind the 8-9. That was difficult. I think the shot clock got to him a little bit there.
Real blunder.
At first glance, I didn't know, but he left Niels an offensive cut at the 5 in the corner. Oh, my.
Another ball missed by the Dutch. Feijen far from flawless.
Oh, better stroke by Lou there. That should get China back. Just that shot there should get China back to 7-5 and breaking. What a big mistake there, and wasn't the easiest of shots on the 5 ball for Niels, but one that he makes at a high percentage, and really alarming because he normally is such a great finisher. And that wasn't to win the match or anything, but to get on the hill at 8-4 and the way they're breaking field, that'd have been a pretty big favorite.
Yes, that will hurt, especially the senior man in the Dutch ranks. Well, this is going to be like the Chile match in the last 16 for China. Let off the hook. We don't know yet. What we know for sure is they were let off the hook in a major way in rack number 12. Wu blundered with his safety, but Feijen did not take advantage. Netherlands 7, China 5.
Okay, he made the corner ball. The one's going to get up for a shot. Now is the cue ball going to stop? Oh, it's really, really close. And I'll tell you by Wu's reaction, he has a shot on the 1. Can he get something on the 2? Can't get close to the 2, I don't think. He's going to have to play for an angle to where Liu can get around the 7 and back up table for the 3, but shouldn't be a problem, really. Okay, so a little flat there. He would have liked to have gotten a little more angle on this ball. Still shouldn't be an issue as far as the 2's concerned. Wu just may have to shoot the 3 from a little more distance. Oh my, he tried to get something extra on it. And again, the guys are trying to get their partners a little closer to the work, and it's really not needed, Phil.
Especially the way the cue ball is just gliding on. They should know by now it's a dangerous pursuit, trying to be too precise.
Extension called.
So it appears Wu's going to dice this 3 in now. The cue ball's going to have some movement. I don't think he can kill it with English. Maybe. Trying to spin it 2 rails here. Yep, nice shot. Right in between the 9-7, and that was totally intended. So Wu just easily pointing his finger for a 3-rail position on the 6 in the same pocket, but the angle he has to come at around the 7, speed is crucial here. Could underhit it easily or overhit it and get on top, and that's way underhit. That is way underhit. And just the angle was a little unsettling, and Wu with a little bit of laugh, like, okay, I'm just gonna have to stab him in from everywhere. I think he's gonna cut this in the corner and go 3 rails with the cue ball, but a very touchy shot. Well, he's banking it, Phil. Probably a medium speed. He's missed it.
Will lose position onto the 6. Placed a burden of pressure on Wu's shoulders that he was not able to bear. The bank went astray. And now, what a chance for Holland to get on the hill.
Yeah, and they would love to have a little more angle on this 6 ball just to make it very natural and a nice easy stroke to get on the 7, but he's going to have to add a little speed here, probably coming 1 rail, just catching the 2nd rail right before gaining position on the 7. Yeah, that's nice speed there, and that's a good trusting stroke, knowing that he's got to just float into position. Couldn't afford to go way long, and of course not short. Again, I've seen it that the cue ball is pinging, as you say, off the rail just a bit more than we saw in the first 3 days.
Rack number 13 was unlucky for the Chinese. Holland on the hill.
Oh, that looks pretty good. The two's getting in the center of the table, which percentage-wise gives you options usually. And they got a tough 2-5 combination. They got a cross-corner bank they could go offensive with. And then we'll probably see some safety options here. He could roll the 2 around the table behind the 7 and go forward and just use the 5 as a snooker. Pretty easy shot. One thing about Team Holland here, an alternate break professional pool, and you're playing the best players in the world, they put themselves in position to have 2 breaks to win this match, and that's pretty much the premium you're looking for. And that's a nice simple safety, not much pressure on it. You get the snooker, you're up 8-5. You've cut them off the jump cue. Most likely the jump cue isn't the option. So pretty nice solid play by
Extension
Niels.
called.
Well, he is going to the jump cue, and there's a nice 2-rail kick off the bottom cushion, side cushion, sending the 2-up table and probably containing Team Holland. But now a little bit more do or die, it appears to me. Is he trying to cut it or bank it? Wow. I'm not sure he came away with anything. Should have deserved more than that.
The saying that comes to mind, Jeremy, out of the frying pan into the fire.
Okay. Another big one for China's tournament life. Looks pretty good on it. Oh, wow.
The carpet has been
Falling
visited
hand.
again. And the Dutch are in to win. Make no mistake, that could be the last shot China play as title holders. This tournament began in 2006. No team has ever repeated as champions when in consecutive years. And that hoodoo looks set to continue.
Yeah, and if you look at all the big tournaments around the world that draw all the best players, you'll see that's a pretty common thing when it comes to the big events where all the great players are there. It's not very often have we had U.S. Open repeat winners. Not very well. Shane Van Boening, he's kind of changed that a little bit, but not very often have we had World 9-ball champion repeat wins. It's just a difficult thing to do in professional pool.
Numerically 6, 7, 8, 9, and then all will be fine for the Dutch.
And Niels will just check this a little bit with a little bit of left English, a little bit of drag stroke. Nice with the cue ball there.
And given the way things have gone in this tournament, a 9-5 result would seem like a runaway.
Well, China certainly had their little handful of mistakes, and the Netherlands had some too, but overall the Dutch team played really solid, had many breaking runs, a golden break. So exactly the formula to get them to the semifinals.
Niels Feijen already giving it a fist pump. Now Marc Bijsterbosch does the same thing. Fantastic consecutive rounds, the Dutch have beaten the USA, and now they've toppled the mighty Chinese. The final score, 9-5, it seals their passage into the semi-finals of this Bet Victor World Cup of Pool.
So the reigning champions' grip on the World Cup of Pool is over. The Netherlands making it through to the semi-finals. But which of the 6 remaining countries will join them? Bye for now.
I got nothing to lose. No one can fit in these shoes. And I've got nothing to prove. I just do what I do when I do. See the blood, sweat and tears. I've been fighting for years. I've been fighting for years, and I got nothing to lose. Tell you I've got nothing to lose.